What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick.
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
Welcome to episode number 81 of Final Bang, where today's guest you may recognize from such bands as Terracell, former member of the band Thin, and also in a band called Charge Report, Mr. Hunter Johnson. Welcome to the show today, Hunter. Thank you.
Hunter Johnson, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me. It's been my dream to talk about annoying records that a lot of people don't care about.
You've come to the right place.
Damn it, dude. Cut the cameras. They're really annoying. Come on, man.
Some of this stuff is pretty. I've shown people this stuff and they hate it. I can't show them twice because they won't even give me the time of day.
They've cut me out of their life because I showed them an annoying album. Who hasn't been there?
Or a band, let's say a band name, perhaps a band name so ridiculous that it just warrants nobody checking it out that you're homies with. They're just like, they can't get past the dumb band name, but the music's great.
I've been there. Yeah. Well, we asked Hunter to bring about, I don't know how many records I asked you to bring. He brought a bunch of records to the show today, and we're going to chat vinyl with you. Hunter, do you want to get started?
Yeah. Wow, this is so awesome to talk about this stuff on a podcast. You guys really did a service to everybody who collects and has a shit ton of records, but a disservice to people who have to listen to the people talk about the records that don't want to. So I kind of the prerogative for this list of records that I have is one's a thing at the end because there was something brought up pre the intro that I think could be cool to show off. But I felt the prerogative for this list should be sort of very influential releases to my musicianship, but also like my musical tastes and quest to find more weird and fucked up music that itches a certain scratch. But it all started kind of innocently with the Beatles.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I picked the White Album because it has probably the most diverse song or track listing. I mean, it's a double LP just filled with crazy stuff. Revolution 9 is insane. Probably the first noise piece everybody's probably heard in their life that they really couldn't make sense of until they got older or they gave it more of a chance. Mm-hmm. But this band is the first band I got Beatles Rock Band in middle school just because my friend told me to get it. And I really wasn't into music before then. Played that video game like crazy and managed to just deep dive into their catalog. And then really, truly the first band I ever really got super excited about and dove really deeply into, which prefaced my whole entire loving music, playing music. Like anytime I find a band I like, I have to dive in and check out everything because there's got to be more than just that one record that everybody listens to. But I love this record. I know one of the members is pretty problematic, but I do like George Harrison songs a lot. And yeah, this one's pretty cool. It's from my bandmate Wes and Terracell. Their father passed, and he had a lot of insane records, and I managed to snag some while we were trying to figure out which we should sell and which we should hold on to. Got this big like poster with like lyrics on the back. It's pretty massive. I didn't realize how big it was until I took it out. And then I don't know if y'all are too familiar with this pressing or just the Beatles in general, but it comes with like these like cool like headshot photos. It's pretty cool, pretty wild.
Wow. I've got, I don't know what year my pressing is, but I've got a pretty old pressing of the White Album as well. I'll have to dig that out and see if I've got that cool shit in there too, because I never noticed.
So
I'm not familiar. I have to look on Discogs to really see what pressing this is, but I think it's definitely like an early one. I don't think it's a first pressing, but I think it's a British pressing.
My early days of getting into music was the same as you. My father was a huge Beatles fan, so he played it when I was just a young child, and that pretty much blossomed into everything else that I got into after that. But I when he passed away, all of his brothers came and raided his collection, took all of his Beatles records and CDs, and what was left got sold to some local record shop. But like, I vaguely remember him having those headshots inside his one of his records. Maybe not, but like I remember, I know those photos pretty well. Maybe one of my uncles had it, but like
Yeah,
that. I guess I think the White Album is probably one of their most sold albums, only because of like the time era it covers. It's like the later era of the Beatles, right?
yeah. I used to. My parents don't really like. Um, I don't know how to put it. They're more like pop music fanatics. They really like radio music. So when I was like getting into the Beatles, and I would play songs like off the White Album, like "Why Don't We Do It in the Road," or like some of like the more weird, like "Sexy Sadie," like some of those songs that are a little bit inappropriate for a kid to maybe be spinning. They definitely did not dig what I was putting on. And I like a lot of weird songs from bands, so I would put on like the weirdest shit from any Beatles record, and I think they just knew I wasn't somebody that could be trusted with like an aux, even that at that age, probably like 14, 15. But
Right.
I wish my parents would have been into cool music when I was growing up. I'd probably be way farther than I am now with how deep in the music I've gotten. But
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like whenever I was growing up, my parents like my mom listened to like Carly Simon and my dad listened to like Joe Walsh. It was like, I learned about the Beatles from Jameson. Honestly, like that's how I learned about a lot of the cool music was from Brad Jameson, the guy we had on the show a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, my musical upbringing from my parents was like Three Dog Night and shit like that. Like I didn't get any of my music from my parents, but God bless them. They're great, but I didn't get any of my musical
No,
interest from them.
exactly. My parents were polar opposites. My dad was like Beatles, jazz, and like big band, and then my mom loved like classical. Luckily, I had a sister who's older than me, and she likes some edgy shit, which led to metal. But whatever path gets you there. Like I said, like I started off as like I always remember Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. My dad used to play Sergeant Pepper all the time for me. So like I have very early good memories of like finding that CD on the shelf and putting it in the tray, and then like he's like, I still have it on vinyl. So
when he
it was just
spun the
amazing.
vinyl, did he have like that? Did he have the variant that had the locking groove on it, where it would play like the last little couple seconds of each
Oh,
side?
I know what you're talking about. There's like that secret track at the end of A Day in the Life.
Yeah, and for the vinyl, I'm trying to hunt down the pressing. I don't know what pressing it's from, but yeah, that like it like loops on the table infinitely until you take the needle off, and I love that shit. I have a Jack White record that's got I think locking grooves on both sides, and one spins from the out in and from one from the in out, and they're just wild. I think one's like ravens or birds or something like that. It's trippy. I think it's meant if you like fall asleep during the record to just like stun you and wake you up,
Awesome.
remind you to take the record off or something.
Clever marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right, number 2. So recently, last week, my friend Ted, his dad Jeff, passed away. The music that I didn't get from my parents showing me stuff and just stuff that they would play on the radio, I got from going over to my friend Ted's house and going through his dad's collection, rummaging through all the records. And back then, used to write the name on the LP. The name, my friend's last name is his dad's last name is on this record, and my friend Ted's dad Jeff's last name is on this record. But he was pivotal in getting me into Pink Floyd, and I really love this record. It's not Dark Side of the Moon, it's not The Wall, it's not Wish You Were Here. It's really poppy but very weird. It's a movie soundtrack. It's called Obscured by Clouds, and I don't know why, but this record grabbed my attention right after checking out the Beatles. I guess just kind of building off what I was saying earlier with liking more of the weirder, lesser known stuff by bands. I guess Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Walt just kind of got a little too old after a couple listens, and the more interesting records from Pink Floyd that don't really get spun as much kind of grabbed my attention more. But he gave me this record when he found out how into it I was, and I think getting this record was a pivotal point in collecting records. Just because of all the like stuff he'd tell me about the record, he told me that like the A side is like completely worn out because they would just jam it all the time in the 70s. So I definitely tested it, and yeah, it's pretty worn out. They were jamming this record pretty hard. But yeah, rest in peace, Jeff. Would not be as deep in the music or probably playing music as passionately as I am and do without your showing me this record and just being warm to the opportunity of a younger person diving into records and asking questions about music.
Right on.
Have y'all heard this record?
I was gonna say I am unfamiliar with that album. I'm unfamiliar with that aspect of Pink Floyd. Like the ones that you rattled off, of course, everybody knows, The Wall and Wish You Were Here and all that. Those are the more mainstream, more widely accepted albums from Pink Floyd. And I haven't really deep dove into a lot of Pink Floyd. And shame on me, I know the oldest guy in the room, and I don't know my history. But yeah, that's cool. That's something I would definitely check out.
It's pretty intimidating, the Pink Floyd catalog. There's just so many records. There's so many there's like not really many member changes, but they're so they cover a lot of ground. I would say a runner-up from that album is probably Adam Heart Mother, which is the album with the cow on it. If you've ever seen that cover, so weird. I think they had a choir that had to like chant nonsensical words. Like they had to learn nonsensical words that Pink Floyd had like written out for them to sing, and there was like chanting and stuff. And it's like I think the piece on there is like 15 minutes or something crazy like that. But it's so like insane and dumb and whimsical and unnecessary, but so cool that like they were able to like pull that off the way they did, and all the voices are like in sync. And I don't think there was like really much technology with overdubbing, or I'm not sure. It's pretty insane. I'd say that's definitely a runner-up.
Oh yeah, very cool. All right, what you got next?
So, I love Black Sabbath. I like Ozzy's era a lot. It's the era that got me into the band, and my friend, my bandmate and friend Wes's father that I talked about that passed away had this record, and as soon as I saw it, I had asked Wes very politely, like, "Can I please have this record?" It's, but this was the first Sabbath record I heard, and like everybody that heard that record, as soon as you hear the first song, it's like you're just fucking terrified out of your mind, but you're like weirdly intrigued about the rest and where it can go from there. I think this pressing might be it's very close to original, like first pressing, I think.
What's the center label look like?
The Vertigo.
Nice.
It's very clean too. Wes's dad either very much took care of the records or did not play them at all, because a lot of the records he got are like pristine. I don't know, and it's crazy too because I think my friend bandmate Wes's house when he was younger got like sprayed for bugs, like got completely raided for bugs and like heat treated or whatever. The records stayed fine. They were like in a closet, and they seemed like they were untouched. No like weird chemical stuff. Vinyl's pretty great. It's weird. Interesting. Don't leave your records in your house though if you get your house treated, or just I don't know, lock them up a little bit better. But I think it's crazy that these survived in the condition that they did. But yeah, this record's what started it all for me, and I'm obsessed with Black Sabbath. Personally, I like Tony Martin probably the most out of all the vocalists. And he came. He was like the last Sabbath vocalist before they ended. Before the first reunion with the full band, and like I think it was 1999. But I just love that era of Sabbath because it's just very proggy and it's essentially castle rock, castle metal, like doom castle metal, written by the guitarist who I would say a lot of people would say in some ways invented doom and stoner and sludge. So to hear that, but like almost like you're in a video game, like a castle level, it's awesome. If y'all haven't checked out Tony Martin era Sabbath, it's incredible. But you have to. It's a little bit of a litmus test at first because it's not like Ozzy Sabbath. It's not really Dio Sabbath. It's proggier. It's interesting. Give it a chance. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never listened to anything besides the two of them. So again,
Tony Martin. He's like his delivery and his style is very hair metal, so it can be a little bit off-putting at first, getting like having Ozzy and Dio, but if you give it a chance, that you might like it. I really love that period of Sabbath, but it all started with that first record.
Oh yeah.
I see Sabbath shirt. Sabotage.
Oh yeah.
Is that your favorite record?
It's not, but my favorite song is on this record. Symptom of the Universe.
Oh yes. That song.
It's a brilliant song. I love it. If I had to pick a favorite record, I'm probably gonna say Paranoid, just because it's so like start to finish. It's just a brilliant album. It's the first one I ever bought. But I do like this album a lot. There's just some good songs on this, and like I said, my favorite one by Sabbath is on here. So, yeah.
I've seen many a debate that people think that Symptom of the Universe was the invention of thrash, like the earliest modern pop introduction to like what would become thrash metal. I don't know.
Maybe. It's such a catchy riff, such a catchy song. And I always remember as a kid, shortly after I discovered Black Sabbath, the movie Jerky Boys came out, and Helmet was in it, and Ozzy was playing Helmet's manager, and they cover "Symptom of the Universe" in the movie, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like, what's going on?"
I've never heard of that movie. What's it called?
Jerky Boys. It was a movie. So there were these two guys in the '90s, and did a bunch of prank calls. Excuse me. And made a couple albums about it. And they got kind of famous, and they made a movie. And the movie bombed pretty hard. But yeah, Ozzy was in it. Helmet was in it.
That
yeah. There's two of them.
That cover is pretty gnarly.
They were hilarious. I mean, they really were. But there's like Longmont Potion Castle's doing it like a million times better, and it's he's got way more albums and just way more consistent with his shit. Anyways, but yes, Symptom of the Universe. Helmet covered it in the Jerky Boys movie.
That's just an insane name for a film, The Jerky Boys. You don't really know what you're getting into, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what the Jerky Boys is? I guess I would be off-putting, but yeah, I mean,
very
like,
true.
we grew up with it. You know, I mean, that was not a prevalent thing in the '90s, but like, you know, if you followed Beavis and Butthead,
you should have known who they were. Yeah, absolutely.
You knew who the Jerky Boys were, especially in the '90s. Like, it was a thing. You know, even before the internet. You know, like we knew who the Jerky Boys just because they were on MTV. It was a thing.
I remember kids at the pool talking about them, and then like maybe like a few nights later, we were at my friend's house, and his older sister had a tape, and I just was like, I can't believe this is real. Like, it was just like, as a little kid, it was just like the funniest fucking thing in the world because like they're making these prank calls, and these people on the other line are really believing what these guys are. I mean, it's. I don't want to get into if you want to check it out, but also,
Yeah, I gotta do my due diligence to check that out.
like
Sounds
we
like
said, Longmont Potion Castle is way funnier than what these guys were doing. It's like night and day difference. But anyways,
Anyway,
all right. So I did talk about liking weirder releases by bands. I think I covered that with Sabbath, with not liking predominantly not really liking the Ozzy stuff as much as Tony Martin and Pink Floyd and the Beatles, certain songs, whatever. There was a point when I found this record, which is by a Canadian band named Hot Hot Heat. Very poppy stuff. This is kind of their weird record, and it's the first one I really heard when I was a kid. They were on some video game soundtracks. They had like a song that was on a bunch of like MVP baseball and like I think they maybe had a song on Madden. That when I was around like in the early mid 2000s, that's sort of like how I branched out and found more bands. But just by remembering video game soundtracks and actually remembering that I enjoyed those songs that I heard years ago. And this band did one of those songs, and yeah, this record, it's very poppy but very weird. But I remember this was like the first really weird like record that I really didn't understand when I heard it, and I skipped a lot of songs, but revisiting it years after originally finding it, I've grown to appreciate it a lot, since it's my introduction to sort of music that challenged a little bit, maybe made you unsure about what you like about music on the first listen, and scratched real weird parts of your brain, had you returning back to revisit certain parts of songs that you really didn't get the first time, and kind of maybe deterred you from not skipping.
right.
So yeah, this band's great. I don't know what I would really compare them to. They have some, like, I would say they're Strokes adjacent. Yeah, maybe Interpol adjacent.
Say the band name again. Who is that?
yeah,
Hot
yes,
Hot
please.
Heat.
One more time.
Hot Hot Heat.
Hot Heat.
Hot Heat. Okay.
The record is called Future Breeds.
Okay.
I have
Right
Yeah.
on.
Very very poppy, very weird. But they're among good company, like they're around the same time period too. I think this record came out, let's see, 2010. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense with the period of indie at that time. I guess I would consider them kind of like indie pop.
Sure.
Right on.
As somebody who used to work at Hot Topic, I've seen that name.
Yeah, they kids probably ordered their T-shirts and got them from Hot Topic. I would be very surprised if that wasn't the case.
Absolutely.
Let's just hope you didn't hate them, so you can check them out now at the age you are now.
Maybe we'll see. I do go back to a lot of stuff that I did not like when I was younger. I mean, like excuse me. I was never a big AFI fan, and a lot of people when they started to blow up,
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, this shit isn't that bad, and everybody's like, no man, this is the radio shit. Go listen to their hardcore stuff. And I don't give a fuck about their hardcore stuff. I'm like, this radio shit's actually really catchy though. Like, I met their singer after they blew up. He was super nice to me. I was like, man, this band's fucking not. They're all right. But it's the same deal. Like, I think if some every now and then I hear their older shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do know that this is them. And but maybe I should go back and listen to some, because there are some stuff that I do find that as an older man, I'm like, I used to hate this shit as an adult. I'm like, it's not so bad. Not everything needs to be screaming.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all get this, but after a while, you have to kind of stop listening to the yelly, screamy music, because then you start getting fucking headaches, or like you just start getting exhausted. And you're like, I really have to like listen to more pleasant shit.
Not so much the headaches, but I do need a balance of music, just because, like, You
For
can't be
sure.
listening to that. I don't need somebody screaming at me all the time.
100%.
Not all the time. No. That's why I enjoy my Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift.
Hell yeah. That's
Proudly.
awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I was as brave.
You get to be my age, you don't give a fuck anymore. Just like it, don't like it, don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm not listening to anything I listen to to impress anybody. All right. Moving forward.
All right, so this next band, you all have definitely heard, Shellac. And
Yes.
the record I got introduced to was at Action Park, but I love Terraform, which is, I think, their second record. What really caught me about this record, and I think, this is an OG. What really caught me on this record is the first track. I think it's like 15 minutes of just and you wonder like when they're going to change it up, if they ever will change it up. And it kind of, the first time I heard it, I was kind of wondering that nonstop, because they just stick on that groove forever and they just do it so brilliantly. I don't know, I wish Shellac would have written more absurdly long songs like that. But that really got me loving the band, because I think that was sort of the first, like, because they play rock music, but I think that was like the first time I'd heard a band that had more like simplistic elements, like just rock, but they're just on a groove forever, and then they change it up and go into other parts, but just locking into that groove for so long kind of leaves you a little restless, but there's payoff. They know what they're doing. Plus, I love the space theme they've got with the record. There's a lot of like I think this is a NASA image. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is a painting or if this is real.
That looks like that looks like just like that Dr. Colossus album.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing.
And then I guess they have like an earthly thing on the back. But yeah, I loved space as a child. I still kind of love space a lot, but I don't know. I think maybe we should be a little bit more focused on the planet we've got, you know. But yeah, just the cover art, the absurdity behind some of the decisions. Even I think on this is a picture. There's like a very brief like hi-hat count part. I think that's the song, and it's just why is it there? It doesn't need to be there. They're having fun. They're just making decisions. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this record showed me first of all like how awesome Shellac is, but I think it really made me reflect on at least writing music. How in control can you be while also like having fun? I guess letting it kind of just go for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I don't have Action Park. I don't know. I like Terraform a lot. Rest in peace, Steve Albini. Yeah. Do you have anything to say about Shellac, Steve Albini?
No, I got Steve Albini for sure, but I mean, you know, we can go all day about Steve Albini, but no, Shellac, I'm not familiar.
Oh,
I've heard the name, but
wicked. Yeah. Definitely, if you want to check it out, I'd say at Action Park is a great start.
Right on. Cool. We got next.
Lightning Bolt, Hyper Magic Mountain. 2-piece, just bass and drums. The bass has a lot of weird pedals, a lot of weird strings. Kind of going more in the like experimental route after like discovering bands like Shellac. Just crazy shit. Insane art style. I really love Brian Chippendale's art style. He does a lot of like screen printing, a lot of like overlaying designs on top of designs on top of layers on top of layers, and it's just as disorienting as the music. The music, you really have to make sure you don't have to be somewhere when you listen to an album, because it's very easy to just spend the whole thing, but also their albums are so chaotic and so disorienting, if you're not prepared for them, it could really make it hard to go outside and socialize afterwards. It make you feel very frantic and insane. But so much sonic experimentation. I would say Brian Chippendale is a highly influential, insane, sort of more modern drummer. But a lot of notes were taken by me after hearing a lot of their records, specifically this one. I fucking love this record, Hyper Magic Mountain. If you really want a migraine headache and you don't have you want that and you don't have anywhere to go for a couple hours, just spin their stuff, but definitely check this record out. It's wild, but you definitely have to have the brain power for it. You can't just expect to go out to a bar afterwards. You'll bite your fingers off. It'd be so easy. So I haven't heard that band. I mean, all these bands I would definitely check out, both of y'all. But yeah, that
Lightning
band.
Bolt I've never heard of, but it sounds interesting. You said they were 2-piece and they were bass and drums, correct?
Yeah, 2-piece bass and drums. The drummer has his own style. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a caveman throwing a drum around.
Okay.
I don't know how else to put it.
I've seen some interesting drummers out there, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this is.
The next record is so there's three California drummers a lot of people reference when I talk about drumming. Chippendale's one of them, Brian Chippendale. Another one's Greg Saunier from Deerhoof. I love Greg and Deerhoof. But the next one people talk a lot about is Zach Hill. And as soon as I heard this record, Hella Hold Your Horses, which it's funny, this is backwards on the record, but since the camera is like mirrored, it's forward. So it's crazy seeing it like this. I thought I was holding not the record for a second. But this record is insanely important to me in discovering insane stuff you can do with music and time in general and feel. I'd say this band is the ultimate math rock band. And I know that's like a term phrase that's sort of used however. People feel however they want about it. Even the people that make it, I think, feel kind of weird about math rock as a term. I feel all right about it. I don't know. People can call it what they want. But like as far as like design and like just how like weird it is, and the cover being as weird as it is, and the songs being as insane and chaotic, but in control. I don't know. This record definitely changed my perception of what music can be and how crazy it can get. So glad that I found this band when I did. So glad that I somehow managed to get a copy of this record, because this record is insanely hard to find. But definitely a huge reason why I make some of the more like mathier music that I make, because this band made me just instantly crave making that sort of music. Very important band, not only to me, but I feel like any band that makes sort of like more dissonant, chaotic stuff. And I had a Death Grips record on here too, because that's sort of like more as electronic. I didn't bring it in yet. It's just I only have the cassette of it. But Death Grips is also another world of Zach Hill's, where it's just insanely chaotic texturing, and they have somebody that raps over these like instrumentals. It's probably, I would say, as chaotic as Hella. But yeah, this record is Hella Hold Your Horses. And yeah, just extremely important to me. I love this record to death.
Right on. Hella yeah. Nick, you see what I did there? Hella yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to quote Jeff from last week. We're never going to use that joke again.
Get this guy out of here.
All right, I needed to bring some Baltimore, some Maryland in this podcast, given the location. Oxes, I think it's self-titled. They are the kings of rock and roll math rock. where parts kind of are very weird and disjointed, but they groove like crazy. This is their first record. The cover was done by I think Eric Warheim from Tim and Eric. I think he took the photo. This record's insane. When I heard it the first time, I did not get it at all. Definitely took a lot of revisiting and thought and understanding what was going on. His little insert, they'd like dressed up in like business suits. I think they wanted to seem kind of like douchebaggy and like Wall Streety. They're a very important. They're a very important band, I think, to music, but also to myself. It's hard to not rip this band off when writing the stuff that I do with more of the like the mathier Charge Report stuff that I write. They have fun and they make it weird. And they're from Baltimore, not active anymore. I wish I could have seen them or they'd still be playing, but I think they broke up or they stopped playing as Oxes in 2012. But this would have been a fucking sick band to see live if I would have had the chance. But yeah, insanely awesome record. Love this record. Also super hard to find for whatever weird reason. I don't know. I would say it's kind of like a cult math rock record. I don't know.
Right on.
I have never heard of that band.
Yeah, there's a lot I could go on forever about that band. I'll be very brief about them, but yeah,
that's what you get, Nick. That's what you get. So I didn't know about Dazzling Killman. They were from St. Louis, and you didn't know about Oxes, and they're from Baltimore. That's what you get. You're making fun of me.
Nick, you got to do your homework.
Everybody point, laugh at Nick. Ha
ha. The one thing I'll say that I think is really cool about that band that I haven't already said, they did a split. It was a 10-inch where they pretended to be Arab on Radar. And I didn't know this, but I thought Arab on Radar enjoyed it. I thought they were cool with it. I reached out to Mark from Skingraft about it because, he's just a guy. You can message him. He'll reply. He won't reply. It's any gamble messaging someone, and he was like, no, Arab on Radar fucking hated it. I think Oxes almost got into like some crazy legal trouble because of it, but they were sort of convincing. It sounds like Arab on Radar. Have y'all heard Arab on Radar?
No.
I have a split that they did with the Locusts. That's about it.
Oh, I have that too. It's so good. But I would check out, honestly, if you were to check out any Oxys stuff, check out that fake split. It's it's fun. I've got that too. But that record. Anyways, moving on. A very important, I talked earlier to y'all before we went live, I think, about Richmond music and playing in bands, meeting people. One of the first bands that I met people from and were very open with being on bills and just very welcoming, just being in the scene, playing music, being a showgoer. It's this band from Richmond called Dumbwaiter. And it's this record is instrumental and they've got a saxophone player. They're starting to add vocals. They've been instrumental for over 10 years and they're starting to write songs with vocals now, which is awesome. Honestly, I saw them play live recently and I don't understand why they didn't do it sooner because it's great. But this is also really good. It's I guess they've dipped their toes in the metal every now and then. I think each member has had sort of their metal project. But this record is like just the perfect balance of like saxophone driven instrumental music, but also more of like the metal ideas that come out of that type of music. Love this record. And from meeting members of the band, I've been able to find out more history about punk in Richmond and just having conversations with Keith, their bassist, all the time whenever I see him. Probably drive him crazy the amount of times I'm like, hey, have you heard this band? The fact that he recommends stuff back and he's so cool about everything and we kind of shoot stuff back and forth. Very important band and release for me. definitely check them out. I'm gonna say that a lot. I've probably said it like 20 times already. Great band. Love that band.
Right on.
Does this band happen to have Bruce Lamont as a saxophonist?
No.
No. I think he's from Richmond, isn't he?
Bruce Lamont?
He played in Brain Tentacles.
Brain Tentacles.
I think I've heard of that band.
Yeah, and he's done. He did the saxophone work on like Cephalic's Global Overhaul Device, and
Okay.
does a lot of stuff with Cephalic. Yeah, that's Bruce Lamont. I would have thought the same thing. I almost did.
I'm terrible. I think I didn't say the name of this record. I'm sorry. The name the album's Tisk. It's like TSK.
Okay.
All the songs are like, I don't know if you can see them. They're like
Black on black.
it's like Humph, Lumpton, Grizzlin, Frzerk. Like it's like weird nonsensical word sounds. Onomatopoeias, I guess.
Onomatopoeia. That's a fun fucking word.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm gonna start saying that all the time now.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll have to check out. You said Brain Tentacles.
Brain Tentacles. Yeah.
Dave Whitty on drums.
Shout out fucking Dave Whitty.
Oh yeah. Burnt by the Sun. Fucking awesome.
Every band ever. Dave Whitty. Fucking. He was the drummer for Black Sabbath at one point, I
think. But yeah.
Anyway. Enough about Dave Whitty. Moving on.
Great drummer. We just talked about this band. Wow. Locust. Plague Soundscapes. First record I heard by this band. Gonna be very honest. When I heard this record, I don't know why, for the first time, I thought that they were 20-year-old kids in the year 2020, 2021. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to fucking see these kids play live. It's great music. And I'm like 28. So I was thinking they were like my age playing this type of music, but no, they're older. They've been playing this music since the 90s. And this is the first record I heard. And just so many insane grooves and ideas and songs just pulled off amazingly. Also, I think without any samples, which is pretty insane for a band with this type of thing going on. I do like samples on this type of music, but the fact that they don't do that, and they're able to keep your attention. At least they keep my attention for like 23 songs. I think this thing's like 21 minutes. It's incredible, but very important band to me, with more of the mathier aspect of songwriting, also having fun writing songs. I think I probably annoyed my bandmates in Terracell when I found this record, because when I joined the band, they wanted to go more metalcore-y, more simplistic, more caveman, not as insane. And I kind of went into that band with the mindset of go crazy as fuck for whatever reason. And I don't think this helped, but definitely helped my brain.
Great band, great album. Shout out.
Yep. Shout out Justin Pearson.
All Justin Pearson projects. Like name a Justin Pearson project. It's awesome. Def Club is so. I'm so glad that that's going on. That band is awesome.
Me too. Yeah, Def Club's rad for sure.
We had him on the show about a year ago.
About a year ago, it was the most chaotic episode we've ever done. Which, I mean, it fell apart here and there, and I had the digital background, and Nick had his internet cut out, and it was the whole thing. But it was fun. It was great. I mean, hearing Justin talk about the early days of 31G, and his strenuous process of putting shit together by hand, and
those are some great stories.
$12 to make and selling them for $5, and it was a great episode. Talking to Justin was absolutely awesome.
I may have heard that episode because I do remember. I remember hearing all of that exactly how you said it. I don't know if he said it somewhere. He probably said it somewhere else, but I think the episode just may have popped up in the algorithm while I've been doing stuff like washing dishes or something. But that is definitely. I have 2 labels, and I work for a label, and I always have that in the back of my head, like how hands-on everybody was, and like just at any point in music really, but with like more of the DIY stuff, everything by hand, going to a copy store, making copies of everything on very shitty paper. That aspect of art is like, at least in music, is, I wouldn't say like lost, but it's just you don't really see it as much. So definitely it's inspired me to step up what I'm doing with all the labels I'm involved with, to try and inject more of that like DIY. Yeah, I fucking folded this shit with my hands, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
31G, great label, a lot of great releases. I love that label to death.
Absolutely.
This record, Yowie, Synchro, I think it's Synchro Mysticism. Yeah, Synchro Mysticism. The guitarist for this band, Chris Troll, he was also in Grandolina, and he's in a band now called Terms. But when I heard this record, the first time I heard this record, I hated it. I didn't understand it. I hated it. I thought like the first couple seconds were cool, and then I turned it off. But rediscovering this when I did was so important, because this album is just a lot of Yowie as a band is very much cartoon sound effects, but put into a structured song. But the guitar work on this and the drums and the bass that are on this record made me realize even more, aside from like the Hella and Lightning Bolt and Oxes and Locust, that I play guitar. As being a guitar player, you can really like put your fingers wherever you want on the frets, and they can make cool noises. And the weirder you get and the more stretched out your fingers get, and the more muscle memory you attach to these weird chords that you don't know what the name is if you don't learn theory, which I don't know theory very well. But it pushed me, and I saw some of the guitar videos that Chris made for this record, and just the shapes his fingers were making were just very like, I should be not playing power chords ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much fucked up shit on this record. It's amazing. All the Yowie stuff is incredible. But Synchro Mysticism is insane record.
Yeah, now we're caught up for hometown bands, Nick, because they're from St. Louis.
Yeah. Love Yowie. Great band.
Yowie's awesome. They are fucking rad. I'll give them that. I don't think I ever saw Yowie, but I mean their music is fucking incredible for sure. And they're not active anymore, I don't think.
No, they have a new lineup.
Yeah.
They've got do you know the band Cleric?
Probably, that sounds about right.
They've got somebody from Cleric, and then they have a guitarist from Australia.
Right on.
So if they play or tour, it's kind of like, I guess it's a little bit of a mess, a little bit. I don't know. They have to definitely plan it.
Right.
But they have a new record. It just hadn't come out yet. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I know they were doing something. I knew they were doing something, but
yeah, it's gonna sound crazy.
So, yeah.
I can't wait to hear cartoon music. It's gonna be awesome. Speaking of cartoon music, this is Chicago band, US Maple, Skingraft band. Sang Fat Editor is the record. This record is, and everybody can quote me on this, the most fucked up record ever made, hands down. Each time I listen to this record, it perplexes me because I don't know what the fuck is going on, and I love it. And everything that this band, like on every record that they have, it sounds improvisational, and it sounds not intended, but they play it the same way they do on record, and it's wild. The capability of everybody in this band.
What band is this again?
US Maple.
US Maple.
This record was also very hard to find. I found a person on YouTube that had a US Maple video that they had made, where they took their entire collection and they put it on the floor of like wherever they were living, and they were just talking about everything they had for like 30 minutes. And I saw this record on the floor, and I knew that I had to at least DM him to see if he still had it, and he did. But that was probably one of the most craziest experiences buying records I've had. Finding a YouTube video of a collection, DMing the person on the chance they still have something. And I think this video was maybe 3 years old when I saw it. And then they had it, and I bought it from them. I think I had to send them a mailer too, because they didn't have a proper vinyl mailer. So
I was gonna say, okay, the 2-year-old YouTube video, that's kind of a stretch, but you had to mail them the box to mail them for them to mail your record back in. That's silly. I mean, you can't make that shit up. So good for you.
This record is just too good. It's too good. It's too fucked up. Love this band. I bug Al, the vocalist, from time to time. He's a great guy. I love him. And a lot of other great bands too. Shorty's a band from people from US Maple, Mercury Players, Snail Boy. It's all great. Even stuff that's happening now that they're doing. Dead Rider. I think Mark Shippey has like he has like a solo thing he does. Comes with like a postcard. It's supposed to be on the front, but the bottom isn't removed. Then you could actually mail it if you really wanted to. But I don't think I'm ever gonna mail it. And I also didn't know this, but the record is like Vietnam themed. So like, I think they kind of went into like the shoot, like the overall vibe shoot with like a Vietnam. I didn't realize it, but I think he's wearing like kind of fatigues, Mark, and hat is like got like a hat, like a army hat. I think that's dog tags on Todd. I'm weird. I know these people by name, and I don't really know them in person. Yeah, great record. If you told me this record was about Vietnam when I first heard it, I would not believe you.
I still don't believe you.
I don't think the lyrics are anywhere either. I don't think they've posted the lyrics publicly anywhere. But really fucked up band. Skin Graft band. I'm going to be talking about Skin Graft for a little bit. Hope I'm not moving too quickly. This is Arab on Radar, Yahweh or the Highway. Insane band. This is like when I talked about Lightning Bolt earlier, this is like worse than Lightning Bolt on a scale of like, how headache do I want to be today? Really fucked up. It's so weird. I don't really know how to describe it, but very essential, very important. Definitely some of like the more like not Xerox, like Kiko's copy shop stuff going on. And then the insert for this is crazy. I think it's on like a newsprint style paper, but it's this. It's like a wide shot of the cover, and on the back, it's a Skin Graft catalog up to this point. It's pretty insane.
Oh, that's fun.
That's very Relapse Records, or maybe that's where Relapse got that from.
Really? Do you have any Relapse stuff that has those sort of things in there? I don't really have many Relapse things.
The early stuff used to, like, all the CDs used to come with those little like things on the spine,
things on top. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't near as extreme. I mean, it wasn't a fucking wallpaper. It was like a little strip, like the little strip that goes over the top of the, like a reverse Obi strip that would go over the top of the CD.
Oh.
But you would open it up and it'd have like 10 albums that were, they were promoting at the time or whatever. But
damn, that's a cool concept.
Mm-hmm. And then at the time, that same type of material that poster was made out of, like, I have one that's like one side is the advertisement for Terrifier by Pig Destroyer, and I think the other side is Souls to Deny by Suffocation. But yeah, they used to advertise stuff like that in like the early 2000s before like the internet was like really
the double-sided, the 2-panel things. Like I've got one for Xenosapien and Anomalies or something. I think it was like two fucking awesome albums. I was like, which one do I display?
Oh,
I love that though. Labels need to bring back more of the promotional stuff with records.
No, for sure.
I hate that that's kind of gone out of style, you know? Or it's like the design aspect is cleaner. It's more like algorithmable, I guess, if that's a word.
Onomatopoeia.
All right, this next band. So I'm very new to more of the. I guess the music is referred to as like more punk, like not really hardcore, but more punk. But the term nowadays is like screamo, I guess you would call it. But very new to finding bands from this period, this genre. And when I found this next band, it made me wonder why they're not talked about more, because they're, I don't know how else to put it, but it's like progressive screamo. Um, it's screamo in a longer format, and they make it work, and it's interesting, and albums fly by. But I'm talking about Race Bannon is the band. This album is In the Grips of Light, and it's very cheap when I got it. It seems like the records are steadily becoming more expensive. I don't know why. I despise that about records. Obviously, owning a lot of them, you hate when they get more expensive. It's a double LP, but it's, I think the record itself is like maybe an hour. It's over an hour long, but it's so interesting, and it's hard to not listen to the full record when you put it on. But it's that punk screamo sound, but pushed in a longer format, longer songs, and the vocalist is unhinged, and I love a good insane vocalist. US Maple is a great example. Their vocalist is very unhinged sounding. Airborne Radar, also another good example. But this band, the vocalist is insane, but the whole record is wild from front to back. Really, in the music that I play with Terracell, very eye opening into more of the possibilities of what can be achieved with that music, more in a longer format. Just beautiful record. Thank you, Pitchfork, for your random article recommending Screamo records, because this record is one of my favorites ever, and by a band that I feel like should be talked about more. I don't know why they're not talked about as much. From Indiana. I don't know if I said that. Great band. Fucking really great band.
That's a name that I haven't heard in a while, but whenever I heard that name, it was in the early 2000s, 2004, 2005. I don't remember how I found them, but they were a band I've always wanted to check out, and I never did. And so I'm now going to look further into this and actually try to listen, I'm going to listen to this band. And yeah, that's cool that you brought them up, because they were a band I completely forgot about. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check out Race Bannon.
So good. I'm so curious about them, because there's not really a lot of information about the band available. I tend to just ask people that are older than me that went to shows where Race Bannon was playing, or where they could have caught Race Bannon, and some people are like, yeah, I don't think I saw that band. Some people do remember seeing that band. It seems like half of the people that I've talked to about the band have like bad things to say about the band, and half have really great things performance wise. But I don't care. They're great. I'll probably listen to like In the Grips of Light when I'm 50. Like, it's such a great record, but not talked about as much nowadays. I don't really understand why not. They're insane. More bands need to know about Race Bannon, especially bands that play more of like the screamo punk stuff.
Right.
Present moment. All right, so I talked about one Richmond band, Dumbwaiter. This next Richmond band, some of the members are in this band, Pygmy Lush, on Persistent Vision Records. Page 99, Document 5. God, I don't know what to say about this record. This is a band that I slept on. everybody around me loves Page 99. Being from Richmond, it's not hard to find somebody that has a Page 99 tattoo or can talk about them as obsessively as I can. It's insanely easy. They're such a great band, great people. But this record is insane. The last track, By the Fireside at White, or I might be saying that wrong. I think that's the title. Insane. It's like a 11-minute, 12-minute jammy song, chaotic outro, really awesome like sample passage at the end. One of the first songs where when I heard it, I immediately thought I could live in this song. Like I could set up a house inside this song and just kind of live here. This one is somehow I managed to get this record. I don't know how. It's pretty uncommon. Reptilian did like a run when it first came out where it was screen printed on like a white paper that was, I guess, glued to these white jackets. They did 666 of them. I don't know if y'all remember this. Definitely, probably do. This was back in the days where it would come with a CD booklet because vinyl wasn't as big, and I guess they didn't prioritize large booklets. So, and it's got a cool like alternate cover. I don't know why they never. I'll have to ask Mike. I don't know why they never used this art for like a LP version. I don't know. Pretty cool. It's like a medical looking collage piece.
That's definitely cool looking.
The vinyl is great. It's like I think it's the only record I've actually taken out and showed you. It's like a gray marble with blank labels on both sides.
That looks like a test press.
Yeah, it almost does. But I love A-Rub on Radar record. It's like this too. It's just blank on both sides. Take a guess on which side it is. I might be able to tell based on the track links, but amazing record. Love Page 99. Love everybody in that band. Yeah, and members of that band I've been able to talk to, and they've been giving me insane musical recommendations. All this stuff Mike and Brandon have recommended me, some of my favorite stuff that I've ever heard as of recent. Those guys are like walking encyclopedias of music that more people should pay attention to and know about.
Oh yeah. Two things. First off, I'm glad you moved your hair to reveal the what your shirt says because it was driving me fucking nuts. I thought it was Pygmy Love Circus at first, and then I thought it was something to scrape my lungs, and I didn't know what it was. So good for you. Second off, Nick is now up 2-1 with the hometown bands, and whatever. But there's still time for him to break out in LA. So I'm hopeful that we'll get another St. Louis.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, that's all I got.
Country Grammar.
Next up, don't you ever fucking reference Country Grammar on this show. I'm going to throw up. All right. Next album.
I found this band very late. Jesus Lizard, Shot. Goat is a great record, but Shot is a great record. If y'all know the band Intercourse, me and their frontman Tariq, we have a shared love of this record. Both of our favorite Jesus Lizard records, despite how great Goat is, Shot is greater in our opinion. Just a really great record. I was really late to Jesus Lizard. Goat was the first record I found by them, but Shot is. I can't stop saying how great of a record it is. I don't really know what else to say. David Yow's an amazing vocalist. They're all such great players. Nice, like, cool red. Also, another record that's like hard to find. I like lowballed a record store on eBay and they went for it, so that was cool. Because you can't really get a great copy of this record, I think, without paying upwards of like $75 for. So that's cool. I got to talk them under that. But Jesus Lizard's a great band. I love Scratch Acid, another great band. There's another band Steve Albini was in. I'll just say that had one of the members of Jesus Lizard. That's really good. Might be something about a man. Really bad Japanese comic. I didn't know how bad that comic was until I like Googled it and I saw like how fucked up it is, and I'm like, man, that band stuff is great, but like, fuck, that's so edgy to like name a band after something so fucked up. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, bunch of fucked up shit. Like there's a Cherubs record cover that will never see the light of day ever again on streaming platforms. But yeah, Jesus Lizard, great band. Discovered them very late, but my favorite record is Shot. Hopefully, I want to get this. I don't have any tattoos, but I want to get this Beatle tattooed on me at some point by my buddy Josh Stevens, tattoo guy.
Shout out Josh Stevens.
He's an insane tattooer. If you're in Richmond, get tattooed by Josh Stevens.
Next album. Moving
on. This band is from. Oh man, I don't want to get this wrong. I think they're from Minnesota. I hope
St.
so.
Louis. They're from St. Louis.
Cows. I've heard of the Cows. This record, Sorry and Pig Minor. Their last record, their most fucked up record. It's honestly a shame that they ended on such a high note because their catalog is great, first to last, amazing. But this record is so amazingly weird. On Noise Amphetamine, Reptile.
Yep.
Great label.
Amphetamine Reptile. Yeah, that fucking dude.
Oh yeah, Amphetamine. I always say it fucked. I always don't say it right.
Reptile. Yeah. M-Rep. I'm a huge supporter of that label, and yeah, I fucking that band is. I always compare them to like along the same lines as like Melvins or Helmet, the Jesus Lizard. I mean, they're along the same lines, along the same like '90s era noise rock. Yeah. I never really got into Cows, so I'm not necessarily well versed in the band, but
it's their last record, and I don't know. They pulled out all the stops. It's equally catchy as it is weird. A perfect end to a fucked up band, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right on.
Yeah, and I really wanted to put Willpower, Today Is the Day. I really wanted to include that on this, but it didn't have the room. But that's another great record from Amphetamine Reptile.
Dude, I was just thinking about Today Is the Day the other day. I was like, we don't talk about that band enough on this show, and I've got 5 or 6 of their albums. Like, we need to do an entire episode on Today Is the Day.
I have a very hot take about that band, and I feel like I'll get hate for it, but it's okay. I really wish that the 2 people from Mastodon that left Today's the Day after In the Eyes of God to go on to form Mastodon, I wish they would have stuck with Steve. Because could you imagine how that record would have sounded, like another Today's the Day record would have sounded after In the Eyes of God?
Yeah, and actually, I've talked to Bill and Braun about that, and it's not a very long conversation, but not my place to say anything. It's not my place to say anything, but I agree. In the Eyes of God is an amazing album, and to hear more of that lineup would have been fucking rad. But
yeah,
it
is. It is what it is.
It's what it is. So
Mastodon's a great band. We got that out of Cows. What the fuck am I saying? It is the Day.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be insane if they played in Cows? That'd be wild. So next record, Orchid, Chaos Is Me. When I first found this band around the time I was listening to like Page 99, I loved them. But then they have a sound and they stick to it, and I just couldn't stand them after like very quick listens of their discography. It just got very stale for me, and it's a shame that it did, because I saw them live, which it's insane that they've come back and played shows after being away for so long. I think they may have stopped playing as Orchid maybe in like the mid 2000s. But I saw them in. I was very lucky to see them in California with Habak, which is a great band, and Agriculture on the Flinzer. Amazing show. All the bands killed it. But I really had a very mixed opinion about Orchid before the show, and then I saw them, and it just completely brought me back to the beginning and changed my perception of the band forever. Since that show, I've grabbed this record, and I grabbed Dance Night Revolution Tomorrow. This one's on like a nice green. But yeah, the band, for some reason, it overstayed its welcome in my brain, and then it wasn't until seeing them live that like it clicked for me. And I've talked to Brandon from City Caterpillar Page 99 about this. The age of digital music is so polarizing in the way that you can hear a band's recording, and they can be recorded amazingly. They can be recorded shitty. They can be recorded. They could be very tight. They can be very like loose. But there's nothing like seeing a band live and being able to see what they're going for, like in the flesh. That was the case with Orchid. Their studio stuff kind of got dry on me, and I didn't really like it. And then seeing them live just breathed new life into all of the material, and it made me realize, oh, this is what this band is doing. This is who they are, and got this like cool little like foldable Ebullition Records insert.
Put that back up again. Put that artwork back up again. Let me say that coffin. Okay. I just that artwork, that coffin looked an awful lot like the Pig Destroyer book burner thing. That's what made me think of it anyway.
Is every band ripping off Pig Destroyer?
That's done by Rohan Harrison of Extortion, the book burner stuff he's talking about. And that I knew what he was getting at with that, but that's not the same.
This podcast ripped off Pig Destroyer. What do you want to say about that, Scott Hall? You
cut that out.
No, I'm leaving that in there. I'm promoting.
Yeah. Right. I would recommend Orchid, like I do all this stuff. I got two more, and then I'm out of here. I've overstayed my welcome probably. This next band, Mike from Page 99 showed me, and they're called Inhumanity. I saw a comment on a YouTube video. Somebody uploaded this album because it's not on streaming anywhere. It said like, it made a lot. It made sense when I read it. I think they came around the time, I think, of like very early Portraits of Past record. I think they were very early to this sort of punk screamo sound. But the comment was like the band that all your favorite screamo bands wanted to be. And this record made me realize why, if that is the case. Insane band from South Carolina. I've played quite a bit of music in South Carolina, and I bring this band up to people that are in the scene, and they can't believe I've heard of it, which is awesome. There's a lot of insane stuff that happened in South Carolina, music-wise, punk, and like the mid-90s onward. But this band is very influential to me because of just the copy shop inserts. They've got so many of these. They had 4 with this record, and they're all filled with stories of shows, lyrics. I think they did they interviewed themselves, or maybe they had someone else interview them. They've got one that's just like show flyers. They have a story on the back of this one. If y'all have heard of the band XTC, I guess they played a show with XTC in somebody's garage, and a fight broke out. And the lead guy from XTC, the vocalist, got punched in the face, and he knocked out and fell on the ground. And then when there was the scrap going on, it was between, I think, skinheads and another group of people, and they were like they had knives and they were going at each other. And then I think the skinhead tripped over the unconscious body of the XTC vocalist and fell on the knife and died. Which is insane. It's insane to have at the bottom of a very unassuming like insert, but it was a fucking crazy thing to read.
Wow.
I think these are all lyrics, but this, along with the 31G knowledge about the amount of work that people should be putting into their releases, as far as like the presentation and what you get when you get a record. This band and this record in general is the catalyst moving forward. Like Justin Pearson, for some reason, my brain didn't register the sense he was speaking until I saw the stuff with this record. And that just reinforced everything that he had talked about in the videos. I'd seen him talking about early days of 31G. But yeah, Inhumanity, the album's called The Nutty Antichrist. And phenomenal record. Also, a band from this band is called Guy on a Punchline, another great South Carolina band from this period.
Right on.
Another record that's hard to find. These records are weirdly hard to find. I don't understand. It's like people like them and want to keep them for themselves. Oh yeah, and the back cover is crazy. I don't know the story behind this, but
there goes our family oriented video episode.
All right, last record I've got. This band. When I heard this record, because I don't want to spoil it early, but when I heard their last record, it was a great listen. But for whatever reason, I listened to a podcast of one of the members talk about the recording of this record. And it made me appreciate this record a lot from the recording standpoint, but also I just love the way it sounds and just everything about the record. It's insane. These people were doing shit way before this music was even probably thought about. Another Skin Graft band. And you probably saw a little. I'll preface it by saying I don't know why I was the person to have grabbed this record, but I'm very glad that I did. This record is Steve Albini's copy of this record. His estate, somebody in charge of the records side of it, the media side of it, they're selling a lot of his collection, and I think the money goes directly towards Albini's estate. But Dig Out the Switch by Dazzling Killman. Great record.
Very nice.
Got re-released. Buy the re-release version. Do not spend what I spent. Hopefully you didn't see the price tag. Do not spend what I spent on this record. Buy the reissue that's coming on Skin Graft. I've talked to Nick Six about this record, and he doesn't feel great about, from the podcast, definitely the performances and just the general experience of the recordings, just all the circumstances that were surrounding the record. But I feel like I embarrassed him when I messaged him one night and was like, dude, I fucking love this record. Like, what the fuck? How can you? How? Why did you not like this record? But it's really good. Good enough for me to buy Steve Albini's fucking personal copy.
Yeah, that's insane that you have that, man. That's really cool.
I'm glad that I saw the site when I did. But at the same time, I wish I would have caught it sooner, because I don't know if y'all have heard of this band. They're called Biggin. They're another Skin Graft band. They've got a record called Cutthroat. That record is the hardest record to get a hold of any record ever. And for like no good reason. I don't understand why that record's so hard to get. Comes with a cool insert. It's probably reproduced in the repress. I don't really know too much about the repress. But yeah, insane record, insane band. Doing shit like this before anybody was doing it. I wasn't alive when they were doing this. But finding out about this record and the story behind it and everything surrounding this record made me fall in love with it, and I don't understand why I have this Steve Albini's personal copy. I don't get why I do.
It's still very cool. It's still very cool that you do have that. And shout out Jesse Mathewson for bringing them up on the show and for introducing me to a band that, you know, is from an hour and a half away. What I consider home as far as, you know, my location or whatever. Nick and I have both really gotten extremely into that band since that episode with Jesse, and we're actually both going to see them at different shows. He's going to see them.
Nice.
With, you're going to see him with Page 99, right? Like in September. You're going to see him before I even do.
Possibly. If
I might be there. I might be at that show.
Yeah. If I can make it out, I'm going to try to.
Yep.
But yeah.
Probably a good time to mention this too. Terracell, a little bit of shameless plugging. We're playing a fest with Dazzling Killman in Richmond.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called Dark Days, Bright Nights. It's 3 days. They've already kind of split the bands per day. I don't really remember what bands are with which day, but City Caterpillar playing Reversal of Man, Cherubs, Dazzling Killman, Couch Slut, Crippling Alcoholism.
Fucking Couch Slut, dude. I love that band. I want to see them so bad.
I have not seen them yet, and I'm fucking stoked to catch them. They're quite a band.
Yeah, they're rad.
I saw them in a brewery in DC with Blake from Pig Destroyer. I got a good photo of him and their singer.
They're
great,
awesome.
great live band. They were fucking awesome.
I'm sure they are. I'd love to see them.
Have y'all heard of Scarcity? One of the guitarists from Couch Slut's in like this insane New York death metal band. I guess you call it death metal. They're on the Flenser. They're called Scarcity. They rip super hard. I didn't realize it was the same guy. I'm glad I didn't when I saw them and met them, because I probably would have bugged them about Couch Slut a little bit, and I don't want to punish anybody when I first meet them.
Don't want to be that guy.
Even though I feel like I punish everybody, but I've accepted it. It's fine.
Well,
hell yeah, man.
Hunter, thank you so much for being first off reaching out, because you're, believe it or not, Jeff is always at some end of most episodes will ask if you want to be a guest on our show, please reach out. And you're actually the first person that reached out that wasn't somebody that, like I said, Alex Shaw recommended, but you do know our good pal Jimmy, Mr. Jimmy Blastbeats.
Jimmy Blastbeats. Jimmy, love you. Great guy. Love Jimmy.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Anytime I post "Today is the Day," he always rubs in my face about how he's played with them and has met Steve. And I'm like, you mother, god damn it. Shit.
It was a fun episode. I think I know about 11 of the 20 bands that you brought on this show. There was a lot of stuff I never heard about that I'm going to check out. But Hunter, thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you all next week.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Final thing,